Miley shakes her ass with shameless sass, and the whole world loses it. It's not her who chooses it. It's her team, who should know better, who shouldn't have let her be so crass and lack such class. What kind of example? This tramp will trample our societal values and ethics in a single epic twerk. If said values were so ingrained, and not so thinly feigned, one booty, however glorious, could not cause such uproarious reactions, such stir, such fear for the future of our fine young ladies corrupted by Mileys and Slim Shadys. Let's not now even mention the racial tension, because that's a whole other can of worms and an investigation of other terms. So cultural appropriation allegations aside, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Was her performance the cause or the effect of a beg that a woman show skin if she be worth her salty win? Because if you ask me, it's we who've been telling her sex sells, so best take it off to XL. Are we really surprised when it comes back undisguised? And should she thrill or disappoint is not the point, because whether clothed or exposed, a woman makes a choice you can love or loathe, but it's a choice nonetheless. And by my standards, she is nonetheless as Hannah Montana or as Miley Ray. A woman is a queen in every which way. She's not around to please you, nor to appease you, and though you may find her ways errant, her worth is inherent. The issue is not the action she takes, but what lies beneath the choices she makes. Here is the question that needs to be solved in the issue in which we are all involved. Is woman coming from a place of knowing who she is? Or is she regurgitating what she learned for the quiz? Are the limits and boundaries she chooses to follow a result of self-knowledge or what she's been bred to swallow? Are the women around her seen as sisters, or are they just the competition for the misters? Is her compass, her small, still voice within that knows? Or does she navigate based off societal woes which appeal to her from the day she is born, telling her she is almost, but not quite, leaving her forlorn, vulnerable, and confused enough to manipulate while she slowly drains herself into the standards we stipulate as we capitalize on her lack of self-care and run to the bank with the fortune she spent on her nails and hair? Is the pressure so high and constant that she can't hear her conscience? Because if so, there's the issue, you know. We're no longer talking Cyrus, nor anyone specific. Only Miley knows where she's coming from, and I think she's terrific. We've all got our issues, so cast a stone lest ye be judged, but as far as I'm aware, all our records are smudged, and if she or any other woman has been caught in the web of lies we cloak her inside while building the career she sought, I imagine it would be a little more useful to begin laying a foundation which is a little more truthful toward conditions under which woman can thrive, instead of giving her more, supposedly better conditions towards which she must strive. What have we built, and where are we going, and which way are the winds of change blowing? This is just the beginning, so hold on to your seats, my friends. Once upon a time, in a familiar plot and place, a boy wore blue satin and a girl wore pink lace. With their entrenched roles as a base and their teeth clenched in haste, they set out to chase something that would quench the yearning they faced. They wanted a taste of union, which can mean anything from interlacing at the waist to remaining chaste, but the key is the approach and the pace and the carving out of sacred space. Now, she was into first, but he went for home base, and I'm sorry to say the ensuing scene was a disgrace, replacing mutual embrace with a classic case of mutual respect, mutually misplaced, debased, defaced, erased. What a waste. He didn't saw, but he conquered and came. His approach was lame, but she fell for it. Let him leave a stain on her self-respect, turned to self-neglect, didn't heed the cry of her guts, of her knowing, the message that was blowing so clear on the breeze while she was busy on her knees, didn't seize the opportunities to rise up, wise up. Please, please, somebody. Remind her who she is. Remind her this isn't showbiz, it's life, real as can be as far as this reality, meant to be taken a little more seriously. She can't hear it. won't steer it into calmer water. The king's daughter chooses to beg for her birthright, rides off with some dark night, leaves her truth in the rubble, plays her own stunt double, breaks her self-pledge and steps off the edge. Then one day, she looks around, her old smile nowhere to be found, her laughter an unsung sound, her tension tightly wound like a puppy at the pound, biting the hands that feed till they bleed, because she was not freed. She is not freed. Tell me who decreed that she and he are now equals, and I will show you a pile of unpublished sequels. I will show you a wage gap and a bag of fake lashes. I will show you the hairs of bleached, tweezed, and waxed mustaches. I'll walk you to the place where she looks into the mirror, into the spot where she pukes her lunch so we get the picture clear. I'll take you to where her silly views and her opinions get lumped, to the graveyard where her forgotten self-confidence is dumped. I'll take you to the advertisements just outside this room, to the billboards where she learns as a kid she'll never find a groom unless she sucks the belly in, a nip and tuck and trim, loses the loud voice, always composed and poised, sexy enough to want, but not enough to daunt, keeps the inner light dim, lest her power threaten him. A self-diminishing finishing as a varnish to her lost pride. Any way she stands out, she desperately tries to hide, spreads them so she isn't prude, yet feels dirty in the nude, tempers her emotions with logical formulas and potions, because that's what holds water, because that's what we taught her. As her earth turns to fire and her rushing waters tire and her landscape is overtaken, forsaken, slowly we commit the act. We punish her with the wisdom we lack, and we do it, man, woman, child. We do it because we forgot, because we ourselves were defiled, and so we perpetuate. Congregate in committees and boards, decide that goddess is not as potent as the almighty Lord. We suck her milk dry, expecting her to dry our tears when we cry over how there's not enough to go round once we've auctioned her off by the pound as she deals with the violence in silence. A lady is seen, not heard, in a land where feminism is a dirty F word. And by the way, the word feminism means the theory of the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes. If you believe otherwise, it's homework time. Ignorance perplexes equality. Not identical sameness, but identical worth. So that Father Sky might finally reunite with Pachamama, Papa Tuanuku, Adama, Mère Terre, Mother, 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 Earth. And yes, we've come a good long way, we have. But the undercurrents did stay, subtle to overt as the case may be. I'm so sorry to say she is not yet free. Of course, both masculine and feminine are present within each one. Just as within our solar system we find both moon and sun, we too are of yin and yang, left and right, up and down. We are built on paradox, unified opposites within and all around. Mr. Sun is endless expansion. He's giving, he's shining out, doing, action, movement, revelation are what he's about. Miss Moon is rooted in listening, earth, water, intuition. She holds space for being on an inward-seeking mission. There is balance when the inhalation matches the exhalation. When we value all our facets in their varied manifestations, but it seems that we've ascribed value to doing over being, and it would seem that this has had a hampering effect on seeing that we are walking a path of dissonance with regards to self and other, whether we identify as male, female, both, or neither. We're dissing the mother. Attempting to get on top by any means needed is quite yang. Balance requires more yin to even out the way we hang. And if the terminology of male and female throws you off, so find your own analogy and feel it out before you scoff. And so, to the feminine essence, to Shekhinah, this is a tribute. I wish to do my very best to honor, to contribute to your health, to your peace, to your abundance, to your grace. I know you in another light. I know your proud, shining face. I know you as the strength of flexibility, the power of vulnerability, mighty in your fragility, flowing in your agility, endless in your ability to go in and in and in, forgiving in the ugly face of sin and sin and sin. I know you as the fierce destroyer when the foundation is built weak. I know you as the fierce protectress of your children and of the meek. I know you as sensing, emotion, allowing, perceiving. I know you as the darkness, as mysterious, as receiving, the nurturer, the soft, the intuitive, the deep, the quiet, the one that gives of her own body to feed every creature's diet while we learn to respect, learn to come correct. Find grounding in your astounding leadership. You are the grand entrance of silence when chatter stops and eyes meet. You are the polyrhythmic music of every vital heartbeat. You carried us 9 months in your deep dark womb. You carry our feet now, you'll carry us beyond the tomb. We are made of you, and to you we shall return once more, at least as an inkling. We know this deep at the core. We know this, and we know your power. This is in fact why we sabotage your blossom from reaching flower. What if we began remembering your wisdom? If we began repairing the schism between male and female, between left and right, between doing and being, between day and night, if we let black and white combine in all the tantric shades of bright gray. No one without the other, no father without the mother, no Venus without Mars, no wings behind bars, no expansion without contraction, no rainbow without refraction. The sun would be upset with no moon to reflect. Yeah. So why should we compete against when we can complete, enhance? Why defeat when we can meet? Versus is full of curses. Coexistence will maintain its insistence until we quit resistance, quit creating distance, as if division and separation were guiding principles to build a foundation upon. As if we humans in our home were invincible and life would just go on whether or not we learned to get along. We were not put here to survive at each other's expense. We was put here to thrive, to tear down the fence, keeping us from our collective and individual potential, and collaborate on the way to becoming that essential self, that unified whole, the one that defies any mask, mold, or role. We are here to strip the layers of disguise, to strip the layers of disguise. We are here to strip the layers of disguise, to welcome the Mileys and those who move shyly alike, so that all have their place and enough breathing space. We are here to value our ability to think as much as our ability to feel until we reach home base, transcendent and real. So let that strip show begin right here, right now, in the eye of this storm, each one inventing how, if we're not beggars but choosers, we must create win-wins without losers in favor of building one team of allies who see past the lies that blind, the ties that bind. The word heal means to make whole. Making health, at this point, the priority goal, because not one is complete, is completely free until there is justice and union, till there is just unity. And so it might come down to this. Ready? Home stretch. You made it. You can do it. A little more to go. Little boy, you are a king. You're a king. And even kings cry, you can be what you want. You need never deny any part of yourself. Be brave enough to be so strong as to disclose your vulnerability. And real men feel free to wear blue, purple, or pink because they're wise enough not to give a damn what the others think. You have what it takes to be the best to rise high, but it's never worth harming another just so you can fly. And if somebody pressures you to be other than who you are, stick true to your path, and I promise you'll go far. Treat yourself with kindness. Listen to that heart, cause love and compassion are a form of highest art. Respect the feminine in all of her forms, within and without, until respect is the norm. And little girl, you're a queen. You're stardust. You're sacred. Your beauty is unmutable. You don't have to fake it or cake it onto your face. Claim your space. Let no one belittle you or whittle you down. Turn around. Show them what's what. When he pinches your butt, when she calls you a slut, don't you keep your mouth shut. Your spirit is resilient. Your light is brilliant. Trust your instinct. Trust that you're in sync. Let yourself sparkle. Overstand patriarchal fallacy and matriarchal malice. See, you're more than some would have you believe. If you feel less than, you're being deceived. You are what you is, no more and no less. A minor speck of dust in a major cosmic dress. Stand in favor of your own flavor. Let us meet in you an unstoppable force. Let us meet in you one who sticks to the winding course toward your center, knowing no one can break into that temple and enter unless you give them the keys. And even then, you can reseize, reclaim anytime, take your power back in the name of reshaping the paradigm. Let your knowing be the basis. To follow the impulse to shrug off all of that which is false and find again the courage to be. Find and sustain the courage to be free because, friends, she is born. She is born free. Let us simply let her simply be.